Why, hello everybody, and welcome to the Truly Odd podcast, where we bring you the latest in game news and movie news. I am your host, Joe Garcia. So let's grab our controllers, get our popcorn, and let's go ahead and dive right on into the news. Before I get started, though, I do have people over today, so you might be hearing noise in the background, maybe some screaming. We're playing the Resident Evil franchise. We're playing Biohazard and Village. They're currently on Village, so if you hear screaming, that's what's going on down there. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on to our first game news topic of the day. And it looks like we got a teaser trailer for a video game called, forgive me, I might pronounce this wrong, Wookchi the Wayfarer. And it looks like a pretty interesting game here. Let's go ahead and take a look at the teaser trailer. Now, I can't play everything because, YouTube's a bit of a bitch. So I'm going to do a little bit of a breakdown as these visuals go. So Nexon has announced the next single-player action-adventure game, Wookchi the Wayfarer. Inspired by a traditional Korean culture and mythology, the basis of the classic novel. It's based on the classic novel, The Tales of Jin Wookchi. Forgive me if I'm pronouncing names wrong again. Anyways, the game follows Jin Wookchi, a mystical hero who uses magic to fight injustice, blending Jin era aesthetics, Korean monsters, and a cinematic narrative. This is being developed by Lore Vault Studios using Unreal Engine 5. The game is set to be released on PlayStation, Xbox, and Steam, though no launch date has been announced as of yet. So that's the general gist of this, and I think even though we haven't seen any gameplay or anything like that, this first cinematic trailer I think looks phenomenal. The creepiness vibes, the horror elements of it. I think Korea, Japan do horror very well, and I love it when they incorporate those horror aspects and their mythology aspects into their story. And I think this is great. I think God of War kind of set a trend, not necessarily the original, but I want to say the Norse mythology versions of God of War kind of set a trend in the gaming industry where cultures are kind of telling stories based off their games. We just had Black Myth Wukong, which is a Chinese game based on Chinese mythology. So now we got a Korean mythology. A lot of the horror games that have come out recently, of course, are based on Japanese mythology with Ghostwire Tokyo and stuff like that. So I love seeing mythological creatures, mythological monsters, and characters and things like that. And I think this is a great aspect. I don't know a lot about Korean mythology actually, so I love learning. I love playing games like this, even Black Myth Wukong, because you get not only do you get to play these awesome games, but you also get to learn a lot about the culture and the mythologies of the stories being told. So I think that's a very fun aspect of gameplay and game related things. I actually learned a lot about Greek mythology following God of War. But yeah, that was our quick little look at the little teaser trailer that they announced. Visually stunning for what it is. Now, we didn't see any gameplay, and no gameplay has been announced, so we're not sure if this is going to be a Souls like game or if it's going to be kind of like I said with Black Myth Wukong, God of War. I'm hoping for that kind of a feel. I'm kind of a little not tired of the Souls games, but hoping we get a little bit past Souls like games. But yeah, the visuals look awesome. This character design looks really creepy, really cool, and I'm very interested in checking this game out. But what did you guys think of this trailer? I'll have everything in the link down below if you guys are interested in checking it out for yourselves. So let me know what you guys thought about everything in the comments down below. Moving on to our next game news topic of the day, it looks like the creator of PUBG has launched an open beta for a new survival game called Prologue Go Wayback. Let's go ahead. He also dropped a little bit of a trailer, so let's go ahead and check this out while we discuss a little bit of what this game got going on. Again, can't really play it on YouTube. YouTube bit of a bitch, so I'm gonna go ahead and talk over the trailer. I have everything in the description if you guys want to watch it for yourself. So Brendan Grenay's Player Unknown announces this new game. Excuse me. Offering a unique open world survival experience with no scripted path, quest markers, or instructions. Players will navigate a procedurally generated wilderness using minimal tools. The game uses machine learning and Unreal Engine 5 to generate realistic terrain from open source data. Excuse me, forming parts of a large initiative called Project Artemis. Early access launches on Steam and Epic Game Store currently. So if you guys are interested in checking this out and are interested in this new survival type game, let me know. I do think it's interesting that they are kind of making it in a way where you have no waypoints and no survivals. You kind of have to do your own thing. Makes it almost like more like realistic. I'm curious if there's like an initial narrative and drop off point, or if it just throws you in the world. So I'd be very curious to check that out. Me, I'm not a big guy on survival games personally, but let me know what you guys think. Do you enjoy survival games? Is this something that interests you guys? Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Excuse me, guys. Moving on to our next topic of the day. Looks like FBC Firebreak developers plan to turn things around amid unsuccessful game launch. So this game was launched recently. We spoke about this, the FPC Firebreak game, and it looks like it didn't go out very well. So here's what they had to say. Remedy Entertainment amid FPC's Firebreak has an unsuccessful launch with low uh, consumer sales. Excuse me. I am a little sick, guys, so forgive me for the joking. Anyways, low consumer sales despite debuting on Xbox Game Pass and PlayStation Plus. However, players who spent time with the game mostly have positive feedback. Remedy plans to Remedy plans for a major update later this September, alongside targeted marketing efforts to revive the interest in the expansion for the game. So if you guys are interested in this game, you might want to check it out. They do plan for a major update later on this year. If you guys are interested in that, if it was a game that you did check out and the dish didn't capture you, so this is a good opportunity to see what they got coming out in the future. Me personally, I'm not very interested in this game. There's a lot of shooters all over the place, so having shooters and having freedom, not necessarily, what is it? What's the type of game I'm trying to say? The live service games just aren't for me, and I feel like this is a live service baity kind of game, so it's not really for me. But let me know what you guys think. Should I give it a chance? Let me know. Moving on to our next game news topic of the day. It looks like Remedy, who we just spoke about, confirms that Max Payne 1 and 2 remakes is still in full production. So this comes to us from Game Rant. Max Payne 1 and 2 are progressing steadily, with Remedy confirming full production and a close collaboration with Rockstar Games as the project nears its next major development phase. The project is appearing its next major. Oh, the project is approaching its next major development phase, signaling a significant advance towards the release. The question now is, what stage would that be? There are a lot of different stages in game development. If you go from from pre-production to an alpha build, or a playtest build, or you move into a beta build, and so there's a bunch of different phases. But I'm thinking, with them saying this, I'm thinking the game, since it's kind of still early in development, if from my understanding, I think it's possibility that this is going to be an alpha build and an initial playtest build for internal QA and internal close family and stuff like that could play the game and kind of report bugs and report issues on it. So I think that's the phase that they're at, because I think they had to build this game from the ground up on how they're gonna do the new gameplay. They can't really, just slap a beautiful skin on what the game used to be. There's been so much technology, so much new development since the previous games have been released, and I think 2001 and 2003 for the sequel as well. So yeah, it's been quite some time. So they definitely need the time to get things up and going for a game like this in this space. But it's also said that both games will be remade for single titles. So I think this game is not going to be coming out in a bundle for the two. So probably individual releases. So I'm curious if they're focusing on both right now, or one at a time, or if they're going to do like a initial bundle release, or if they're going to just say screw it and just have them separate in separate dates, which is probably what they'll end up doing, because they'll make more money that way. But let me know what you guys think. Are you interested in a Mad Max remake? I think this is phenomenal, and hopefully they eventually get to Mad Max 3 along this line, and maybe even make it a different way, because I don't think Max Payne. I said Mad Max, didn't I? Max Payne. Sorry. Anyways, hopefully they can get to Max Payne 3 and beyond. We'll see what they end up doing with it. But let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Moving on to our last game news topic of the day. Looks like EA has turned down a soft pitch for BioWare for a Dragon Age Trilogy remaster. So EA is not known for being interested. They're historically opposed to remakes. Uh, the reason being is one of their main producers just isn't really that much interested in remakes and stuff like that. So uh, basically that. But the other problem is that there are a lot of technical challenges with remastering and remaking games, and the technical challenges for these games would be they use a lot of different game engines. Uh, I think Origins had a different one. Dragon Age 2 had a different one. Forgive the noise in the background. They're very loud. Anyways, hold on. I'm going to wait for them to kind of die down on the sound. Okay. Anyways, because of those aspects, it makes some remaster very hard to do. And they basically would have to make the games from the ground up. Well, this is embarrassing. Anyways, I'm happy I warned you guys beforehand. So yeah, it would make the game a lot harder to develop at that point, making things a lot less smooth. Hold on one second, guys. Anyways, sent a text for them to turn it down a bit. Anyways, so where was I? Yeah, so yeah, it would be very technical, and they would have to start from the ground up, basically starting a whole new development cycle just to remaster these games. But we'll see how things turn out. Would you guys be interested in a Dragon Age remaster? I know that the most recent game didn't sell that well. I think they only sold about 1.5 million units when they were looking for a 3 million unit seller, but who knows. Anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Looks like they turned it down. Anyways, moving on. For that does it for our game news topics of the day. We're gonna go ahead, or maybe they didn't get my text. We're gonna go ahead and move on to our. You know what? We're fuck it. We're doing it live. This is gonna be an interesting part because I think my brother watches these, so this is gonna be a very interesting section of the podcast. Kind of recording here. Love you. So yeah, that was my brother. they're they're having a good old time. We're gonna go ahead and move on to our movie news topics of the day. Starting with Alan Tudyk, there's a video clip of him going around talking about iRobot and the moves that were made to remove him for the press material for the movie and why that happened. This is kind of typical for the film industry when stuff like this happens. But let's have Alan speak for himself in this podcast by Jim Cummings. If you haven't seen this, I really love this podcast. It's called Tuned In with Jim Cummings. He talks to a lot of voice actors and things like that. And it's very interesting for Alan Tudyk to bring this up so many years later because, to be honest with you, I did not know he voiced Sonny in iRobot for quite some time, and until like much later on into his career. I think I found out maybe when he was doing Moana or something like that, or maybe the robot in Star Wars. So that's how long it took for me to know that he was doing the voice, and that's how much they hid him in the marketing aspect of the movie, which is really sad to say because his performance was phenomenal. But let's hear what he had to say about it.
Didn't know I did Sonny the robot on iRobot because they were doing test audiences with the movie, and they score the characters. And I got word back, Alan, you're testing higher than
Will Smith. Nice. He's about to slap you.
And then I was gone. I was done. There was no publicity, and my name was not mentioned. And
no good
I
deed
was
goes
so shocked. I was like, but wait, how do they? Nobody's gonna know that I. And they're like, and
That's sad. That was such a good performance too.
So a lot of people didn't know I.
So that's him talking about what happened and why things turned out that way. It's really sad to see that happen to such a great actor with such a great performance. And I actually do think he was the highlight in that movie. But it's nice to hear him finally, after so many years, come out and kind of say what happened and what went down with that, with the studio. And, he is at a point in his career where regardless of this story coming out so many odd years later, this movie came out in 2004, he's at a point in his career where this won't affect him, and it's nice to know what ended up happening and why he wasn't really portrayed that well. And I'm sure this happens to a lot of actors in the film industry, and it's good to hear someone come out and talk about it. But let me know what you guys thought about that in the comments down below. Moving on to our next movie news topic of the day, it looks like we have our first look at Daniel Day Lewis's first look at Daniel Day Lewis as he returns from retirement in a movie called Anemone. Anemone. I'm pronouncing that way wrong, but forgive me. Let's go ahead and take a look at this first look and give you guys details. So Daniel Day Lewis returns to acting after 8 years of retirement, starring in Anemone, which will premiere at the New York Film Festival later this fall. Um, excuse me. The film marks the directorial debut of his son Ryan Day Lewis, and it is a co-written by him and his father. So co-written by him and Daniel Day Lewis as well. It's set in North England and stars Sean Bean and Daniel Day Lewis. And here's the story. The story follows two estranged brothers played by Sean Bean and Daniel Day Lewis who reune in the woods, unearthing a complex, violent past. So not really sure what the film's all about that, but knowing Daniel Day Lewis is in it, and I think Sean Bean's a phenomenal actor as well. I think he's very underutilized in a lot of the movies he is, except for Lord of the Rings, of course. So I think he's gonna do great alongside Daniel Day Lewis, and I'm very curious to see what is gonna end up happening with this film, and I'm loving to see what performance he's gonna bring to the table because Daniel Day Lewis really gets into his roles. So I'm very curious how it'll end up turning out. Moving on to our next movie news topic of the day. It looks like Shrek 5 has been moved back 6 months to June 30th, 2027. It was initially going to come out in December 23rd, 2026. And I believe, of course, the reason for the move was going to be how many different movies are going to be coming out that year in December of 2026. We have Avengers Doomsday, we have Dune, we have we have Avengers Doomsday, we have Dune Part 3, and Ice Age 6 all set to be released in December of 2026. So it definitely wanted to get away from those high budgeted films, especially the Avengers. Now, as far as Ice Age 6, I think Shrek would probably beat that if they went head to head, but don't knock how many people love the Ice Age movies as well. So I think it makes sense for them to move to the summer of 2027, and I think that's going to be a good initial release for them, and it'll probably turn out for the better. Now, 6 months is quite a bit of time, it's quite a bit of ways away, so I'm curious why it was that. I'm curious why they didn't end up doing like a February release, but who knows? Maybe they want a little more time to work on the movie as well and really kind of hone in on how the productions or how the story is going to be told. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. 6 more months added on to the wait for Shrek 5. Moving on to our next movie news topic of the day. It looks like Johnny Depp may be interested in returning to the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise, says Jerry Bruckheimer. Jerry Bruckheimer is a very prevalent producer in Hollywood, and he was speaking with Johnny Depp. So it looks like this is going to be the sixth Pirates of the Caribbean film. It is planned for a franchise reboot, but Jerry Bruckheimer hopes to include Jack Sparrow, praising Depp's unique creation of the character. Johnny Depp is open to this is from Jerry Bruckheimer, by the way. Johnny Depp is open to returning his role as Captain Jack Sparrow, according to producer Jerry Bruckheimer, who said it depends on the strength of the script. Bruckheimer remains a strong advocate for Depp returning, calling him a good friend, and praises his artistic contributions to the character, which is awesome. So I think if you don't know who Jerry Bruckheimer is, this is the gentleman right here. He is very, very, very well-known producer in Hollywood, and he has a lot of pull. But the question is, will Johnny Depp return? If Johnny Depp is telling him it depends on the script, it doesn't just depend on the script. After every legal thing that went on with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard and all that drama going on, it's also going to matter about this fat paycheck that he's going to be getting for the film, because he even said in that court case that he would not return to the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise, that he was not interested in working with Disney ever again because of the drama going on with the film and kind of what they ended up doing to his career. But after all the drama and after all these years have gone by, and you have a producer like Jerry Bruckheimer, a friend, kind of convincing you to do it as he's going to be one of the main producers for the film, and having them in your ear trying to convince you to do something like this. And I know Johnny Depp is probably really looking to revamp his career, come back to Hollywood, and get his life back on track. So having a movie like this come out and having him give a great performance with a great script and kind of revamp his career would be beneficial for him. And of course, getting that fat Disney paycheck would not hurt much. So I'm sure that all depends on it as well. But we'll have to wait and end up seeing what happens with Johnny Depp's return to the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise. But what do you guys think? Are you hoping he returns to Captain Jack Sparrow? I want to see Johnny Depp return. I love his performances. I think he does great as Captain Jack Sparrow, but I think it's time for him to move on from the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise. And personally, I really would like them to focus on more Will Turner's story to see where he's at now in this world. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Moving on to our last movie news topic of the day, it looks like Ryan Reynolds is teasing his return to the MCU in Avengers Doomsday. According to a post he did online, this is the post that he posted of looks like Deadpool kind of scribbled out the A and put another A for anarchy over it. But yeah, it's just a nice little tease. But the question is, will he be appearing in Avengers Doomsday is the question, and that's what everyone got rumoring going on since he posted this. It makes sense for him to return. You're going to have a lot of the classic X-Men in this movie. They did the initial announcement. We're going to get the return of Magneto, played by Ian McKellen. We're going to get the return of James Marsden as Cyclops. We'll probably get some other people that they haven't announced. We're getting Alan Cummings as Nightcrawler is going to be returning. Rebecca Romaine is going to be returning, and not Clancy Brown, what's his name? Kelsey Grammer is going to be returning as Beast as well. So we're going to get a lot of awesome returning characters. Patrick Stewart, of course, is Professor X. So it just makes sense to have Deadpool in there with his shenanigans, even if it's a small role. And hopefully we also get some Hugh Jackman in there as well. There's a lot going on in this movie, so it all depends on the timing. But even if he doesn't return for Doomsday, I'm sure he might be returning for Secret Wars, as that movie is probably going to have a shit ton of MCU characters and bringing in a lot of different crossovers, with this being the end of the multiverse saga. They have a lot to do in a little time, meaning 2 movies. Hopefully 3-hour movies. We could probably get 6 hours of just crazy wonkiness and having great movies out of them. We'll have to end up seeing, but I do think Ryan Reynolds will be returning to Avengers Doomsday. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Do you think he's just teasing fans, or do you think he's hinting at that he's going to be returning for Avengers Doomsday? Let me know what you guys think. Let's see. And that's a wrap for today's episode of the Truly Odd Podcast, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. If you like this episode, please like and subscribe. And always, guys, remember, stay true, be odd.